Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, Vice President of the Republic, Senior Minister Yao Safu Mafu, colleague Ministers of State and Deputy Ministers of State, Nime, Name, members of the Diplomatic Corps, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I wish to first acknowledge all who are here present in this auditorium and the millions who have joined us through the power of television and online platforms across the country for the 8th Town Hall meeting and results fair organized by the Ministries of Information, Monitoring and Evaluation and the Office of the Senior Minister. This program has brought together state and non-state actors to enhance accountability, promote inclusiveness, and participatory development. The Town Hall meeting and results fair serves as a platform for ministries, departments, and agencies, as well as metropolitan, municipal, and district assemblies to demonstrate the performance and impact of their policies and programs in periods gone by. The last 2 Town Hall meetings and results fairs were held in January and February 2020 in Accra and Kumasi, respectively. It was our intention to continue with more of these meetings until COVID hit. But as restrictions are being eased, we have the opportunity through the power of television that helps us to come to full grasp with the infrastructure work executed so far by the Akufo-Addo administration. On behalf of the organizing ministries, I welcome you and all our guests to tonight's Town Hall meeting.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister, for information. I shall now have the pleasure and honor to invite the Minister responsible for monitoring and evaluation to give us the purpose of gathering. Honorable Minister.
I think the Minister of Information has already given you the purpose. I'm not going to repeat it too much, but the first results fair, as he said, was held in January, which was attended by addressed by the President. The second one was addressed by Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia in Kumasi. If you recall, those of you remember, that was when he assessed how far we have gone with our promises. We had, as he said, we had intended to continue, but Mr. Coronavirus visited us, and here we are. The purpose is to allow the government of Ghana, from the Vice President to the sector ministers, to tell us what they have done. His Excellency wants us to be accountable to the people of Ghana. And so this event, the President has asked the Vice President to account for what we've done in the area of infrastructural development. So it's a test for the Vice President. We don't know what he's going to say, except for the sector ministers who might have given information. But those of you who recall what happened in Kumasi, I'm sure will be thrilled. We want him to spend as much time with us as possible. And he may, at his discretion, call on any of the sector ministers to help him answer questions. After today's event, if there's need for it, we will continue to organize individual fora for specific ministries so that they can add on to what the Vice President is saying. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. The millions watching us from home can join us on the several virtual platforms that have been created, including a WhatsApp platform. The number to send your short video to make that comment or to make that inquiry is 055 53 11 311. 0555 311 311. We thank you very much. You can also follow us on our Facebook page, and also the Facebook page of His Excellency the Vice President. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, shall I now invite the Saprewa group to give us a brief interlude. Saprewa group, a brief interlude.
The other sunny babyano. I was what done a dear. Am I young queen? And the pona. Not the boss to traba. Won't you be media boy? I send the pona. A true baby. Yana baby, I want. And Tingana man, Pina Bediache, Mamma, young fire, Doctor, and Haji, Mamma Bawumia, what the Aglamo, on an impending fortress. Ghana for a man with the bread, Ghana for a son and Yaminti, Sir Bibina Swire, Obadana did the Achamain. Anutini shemu nananum yanyuminiye ananuma makasaye Sansa Fadia, ya the chain. Nadia Yashemu, Nanamu, and Yantokwabi, no more many years. Nanamu, many years, and Tira. And Chimada, and some other many years. Semi permanent. So big and China, my baby. Yes, I'm in Toko. Sansa Fadia, when the Chinamu me. If you are seeing any, I know maybe a man, your queer MPP bus. Well, no, I never knew. Yeah, my Dutch. I'm away, oh, my yentro. A boy, my Dutch. Oh, my Dutch. I dare my company here. Oh, my engine and mom. Near mommy. Never a year. mum ne be ye, mum ne be ye, mum ne be ye, mum ne be ye. Adam no. So, and also am employment. I'm in Juma. Some may you. O me among the bay, or may Achia Emuria. I need a swapper or Homagana may. O me among the bay, o me among the bay.
Thank you very much, Seprewa. I recognize the Honorable Minister responsible for Finance, Ken Oforiatta. I also recognize the Minister responsible for Special Development Initiatives, Honorable Hawa Kumson. Your Excellencies, Honorable Ministers, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, may I invite you to spare a moment to walk through with us the length and breadth of this country and see what, just in a sneak view, we are about to show you. A video documentary that introduces today's presentation.
From the coastlands in the south to the ridges of the highlands in the east, through the midland forest to the western farmlands, and up to the hot and dry lands in the north, there are varying needs for infrastructure. From a convenient complex road to a simple but crucial factory to a calm but great alternative system. These needs do not count for luxury despite their enormity, and providing them certainly isn't a political stunt. To this government, these infrastructural projects are a necessity just to make life comfortable and productive for the old, the not so old, It is said that roads make economic growth and bring important social benefits. They are of vital importance to a nation's growth. In addition, providing access to employment, social, health and education services makes a road network crucial in fighting poverty. In the eyes of this government, any gap in our road network left unattended is a threat to our economy as a whole, no matter where the gap is. It is in this same spirit that this government penciled the year 2020 as a year of roads. And despite the crippling global pandemic, this government remains committed to fixing and upgrading our roads. So far, over 32,800 kilometers of road construction is already ongoing in various parts of the country. Out of this, 4,500 kilometers of road routine maintenance have already been completed. 130 kilometers of periodic regraveling, spot improvement and resealing works are completed. 170 kilometers of minor upgrading and drainage systems are completed. 5,170 kilometers of town roads have been completed in Tamale, Hohwe, Swedru, Takrade, Yendi, Obwase, Walewale, Nalergu, Kumasi, the giver of way for roads to cross water. This one here in Kulungugu is a 100-meter bridge built by this government to make it possible for traders to get their cargo into Burkina Faso and back safely. The government is building similar one in Garu and 5 more others in Kukun, Ambalara, Doninga and Sicily. Beyond these ones here in the north, this government is building 62 more of such critical bridges in various parts of the country to remove the lingering dangers posed by old, weak and substandard bridges to make traveling on such roads safe and comfortable. And to truly optimize our internal transportation options, this government is redeveloping our railroad network entirely with over 119 kilometers of new railway tracks under construction, along with additional 109 kilometers of old tracks going through active rehabilitation. Additionally, the government is upgrading the Kumasi Airport to an international airport to remove the inconvenience of transiting through the Kotoka International Airport every time travelers from the middle and upper part of the country are traveling abroad. Also, the Tamale and Sunyani airports are being rehabilitated to enhance intercity air travel options and experience. Healthcare. While the sick have their hopes in a doctor or a nurse, the doctors and nurses depend on health facilities to deliver on that hope. Without infrastructure, diagnosis cannot occur to allow treatment to follow. Because the government sees this clearly, it has built over 72 clinics plus 50 supplementary wards at different hospitals, increasing our hospital bed capacity by over 2,000 across the country. Also, in the government's unrelenting pursuit to improve rural healthcare delivery, it has built 482 community-based health planning and service compounds. And on the promise of enhancing emergency healthcare, the government has acquired and distributed 300 fully equipped ambulances to ensure that at least every constituency in the country has a dedicated ambulance on standby at all times. Yet, to this government, the evolution of emergency health care would not be complete without an impeccable mechanism to ensure the blink of an eye supply of critical medicines, vaccines, and blood to precise locations. And so, to complete emergency healthcare evolution for the good of the people, the government is committed to a thoughtful institution of 4 medical drone delivery centers, with one at Omenakun for the southeastern communities, one in Yosu for the western communities, another in Impenya for the mid-country, and this one here in Vopsi for the northern communities. On average, these stations make 180 trips daily, delivering crucially needed medicines, vaccines, blood and test samples and results to healthcare facilities located as far away as 80 kilometers from launch sites. And more importantly, to enhance the comfort of our healthcare workers, the government has built over 64 staff accommodation blocks throughout the country, with an excess of 30 more construction in homes for over 1,000 staff. In a place that needs change and make a difference. Electricity, the soul of machines, the spirit of a city, and the wonder of the village. Indeed, the need for electric power will remain insatiable, and this government also dipped into the job of generating enough of it for the people and industry. This solar farm in Gomwa Amenfi generates 20 megawatts of power and feeds it into the national power grid. Besides this, there are 3 more under construction in Laura, Kaleo, Bui, and Kurugu, which together will generate 154 megawatts of electric power. Beyond solar, the government is building a hydroelectric dam in Chachado in the Volta region and another one in Pualugu with over 60 megawatts generation capacity. These, together with 21 power distribution installations and transformers, are ensuring stable power supply. Now, to ensure wider and proportionate access, the government has extended electricity to over 2,000 with additional sea defense. A reinforced stone wall built to keep the sea from running beyond the shores, to disrupt the livelihoods and destroy property in coastal communities. Like this one here in Anomabo, the government has built 4 more in different towns along the coast, with a total distance of over 6,300 meters. Without cattle, there will not be enough meat, and there'll certainly not be any pure milk for anyone. But for milk to flow and meat to be abundant, water is twice as essential to the cattle farmers here in the north. And for any given crop farmer here, a good harvest largely depends on water due to the dry and hot climate.
This is the Bole district of the Savannah region. It is one of the districts previously noted for unending conflicts between local farmers and herdsmen. The conflicts mostly arose as a result of not just competition for pasture, but also for water. All that now belongs to the past, as the cattle now have access to water and pasture, as a result of which the herdsmen no longer invade the farms belonging to the residents. This is the Mankuma Dam in the Mankuma electoral area of the Savannah region. Over 1,000 inhabitants whose main occupation is farming live in this community. It has 1 borehole, which according to residents was a major source of conflict in the community. Thanks to the construction of the dam, pressure has significantly dropped. A herdsman in a nearby community says the construction of the dam has eased the burden on his wives and children who hitherto would travel long distances to wash their clothes and fetch water for other domestic chores. Additionally, he notes his herd is assured of water all year round and that he does not have to travel long distances to water the herd.
These days, because of the availability of water, we the herdsmen are at peace with the local farmers.
The Mankuma Dam also has the potential for aquaculture. When they are not working on their farms, some of the residents take advantage to fish in the dam.
Now, if you go to Bole markets, there's fresh vegetable around the whole time. We get fresh vegetables. And you don't hear people actually fighting over water. And you don't also hear people going around saying Fulanis have come to their farms to drink their water and eating their food stuff and everything. Because we have water in abundance. From
Mankuma, the team moved to Mandari. There is a cashew plantation next to this dam. The owner of the cashew plantation says all he needs now is a pumping machine to make maximum use of the dam to produce the cashew in commercial quantities. Our team noticed that the water level in this dam had dropped significantly, but the residents of the community explained that it was the result of overspillage.
We have 10 completed, and we are now actually waiting for another group. For now, we are doing community base. Wherever we see a cluster of communities, we put one for everyone to enjoy.
The One Village, One Dam initiative is not only providing timely water for farming and cattle rearing, it is also providing alternative livelihood for farmers who decide to down their tools completely during the dry season.
Because of this, the government has thoughtfully started the construction of over 500 dams and dugouts like this one here in Zwarungu to hold and reserve over 12 million cubic meters of water to serve over 570,000 farmers through the dry season. Also, the government has undertaken the nation's single largest investment yet in the entire northern part of the country by building an irrigation-based dam in Pwalugu to increase our irrigable farmland by nearly 24,000 hectares, which only stood at 13,000 hectares since independence.
The story of the Pwalugu Multipurpose Dam and Irrigation Project will be different.
Beyond this, the government has reaffirmed its commitment to improving agriculture by creating 100 greenhouse farms to improve vegetable farming, plus over 100 warehouses nationwide with an average storage capacity of 100,000 metric tons to save over 2 million farmers who consistently would lose significant portions of their harvest to poor or insufficient storage facilities. And for a truly productive and profitable fish trade for the fishermen and the traders, this government is building 10 new fishing landing sites to provide suitable docking spots for over 2,300 fishing boats, plus decent fish market spaces for more than 10,000 fish traders. This is a market store complex. It has 48 separate stores patronized by people from communities here and around Asante Mampong. The government is building 81 more others with over 5,200 stores in between them, serving over 10,000 communities across the country. Also, this government has bridged the market access gap by undertaking 131 market complexes like this one here, and is additionally building 237 market stalls and sheds throughout the country. Further to all of that, this government is building 21 abattoirs, fish processing and specialized market facilities to enhance cleanliness and hygiene. Arguably, economies are driven by industry, and industries are a collection of small and big factories. Indeed, for any economy to boom, factories are a deciding factor. Along with this insight, this government made a profound determination to make sure every district in this country has at least one productive factory. On that count, this government has reconditioned 68 existing factories. To boost their output capacity, the government is building 59 new factories under its One District, One Factory program. Together, these factories have created over 10,900 jobs for the ordinary Ghanaian. Apart from this, the government has built 5 common user processing factories, 36 medium-scale processing factories, and 58 small-scale processing factories throughout the country, processing our locally cultivated rice, maize, palm oil, tomatoes, and more. All of this has had a continuous incredible impact on our exports and the economy as a whole. This is a community water reservoir. It takes 750,000 liters of clean water from its pumping station and supplies it to over 3,900 households within 33 communities with over 17,000 occupants every week. The average distance from any of these households to clean potable water has been reduced from nearly a kilometer to just a few yards. Like this one here in Ajumako, there are 182 more reservoirs with varying capacities across the country, plus 2,590 boreholes and 1,163 pipeline extensions, supplying clean potable water to over 3.6 million additional people daily. Here is a 38-in-1 cubicle private water closet facility for a rural community in the Ashanti region. The government is building over 1,400 of similar facilities for communities with no or disproportionate access to toilet facilities in all regions, plus 200 multi-unit flushable latrines, and has distributed over 17,000 units of Digni-Loo toilets. Also, the government has built 4,765 toilet facilities in communities where open defecation is pervasive. All of these together is providing decent places of convenience for over 8 million people whose options would have been cut to either open defecation or some awful toilet facility in some faraway distance. Hours, this government has built youth resource facilities to offer assistance and also equip the younger generation in various fields of entrepreneurship and trade. This is aimed at making the average youth self-reliant and further enhance their capacity towards the future. Like this one here in Ahafo, the government has built 21 more around the country. On the front of sports development for the youth, the government is building 18 community football parks and sports complexes, plus 22 more astroturfs under construction to aid the progress of our youth in the good old game, soccer. This building here at St. Thomas Aquinas Senior High is a 12-unit classroom block. This other one at Northern Star Senior High has 12, and this Osu Presby one has 18 classrooms, and all that is just a scratch on the surface. The government has built over 1,000 of such classroom blocks in different schools across all the regions of the country, creating suitable learning space for over 450,000 pupils and students. Unlike this dormitory block, which gives boarding accommodation to 500 Takrady Senior High students, there are over 280 others built within various schools, accommodating over 112,000 students. Also, the government has built several libraries and science labs, altogether creating access for over 7,300 at a time. Beyond these, the government has further built 73 staff bungalows and flats, giving homes to over 700 teachers and their families. Above all, this government is building 9 senior high schools with science and computer laboratories, libraries, assembly halls, dining halls, and dormitories. Also, the government has built
in a race you can't.
One whose ambition does not end at getting power from the people, but empowering the people to whom that given power truly belongs.
Ladies and gentlemen, another big round of applause, please. And that was just the tip of the iceberg. It's my singular honor now to invite onto the podium the Honorable Senior Minister to say a few words and to introduce the guest speaker. Honorable Senior Minister, Honorable Yao Osafo-Maafo.
Your Excellency, the Vice President, Dr. Bawumia, Honorable Minister for Monitoring and Evaluation, the Honorable Minister for Information, Honorable Minister for Water Resources and Sanitation, colleague ministers, heads of public institutions, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Somebody told me something last week, which after watching this film, I want to share with you. He came to my house and his message was simple. He said, the next campaign is different. It's different because for the first time in the history of this country, we have two gentlemen vying for power, each of whom has had the chance to run this country for about 4 years. His Excellency, the former President, Dr. Dramani Mahama, has run the country a little over 4 years. His Excellency, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, is almost 4 years. So people would want them to show what they did on each occasion when they had the chance to run the country. And I believe the next election, when it is approached from that angle, it will be based on promises. You had the chance to serve this country on the highest position of the land for a period of 4 years, roughly. What did you do with that opportunity? Will be the main yardstick, will be the measuring rod for the election. Your Excellency, the Vice President, colleague ministers, I think we must congratulate the Minister for Monitoring and Evaluation and the Minister for Information for talking about this infrastructure delivery. The topic of the Vice President would be delivering infrastructure. And as issuer, we expect him to give us a good menu. Your Excellency, I've had the privilege of working with this young man when he was at Bank of Ghana and I was the Minister for Finance. And if there is any man who pays attention to details, it is Bawumia. If there is any man who provides unalloyed support to his superior, in this case it was Governor Akwa, it is Bawumia. If one man has contributed positively to the performance of this current government, in my view, it is Bawumia. He has served, continues to serve as the chairman of the economic management team. And it is a privilege to belong to that team. I said it once and I'll repeat it. The economic management team is made up of all the productive ministries and a few others in this government. And Dr. Bawumia is the chair. And he's a chairman with a difference. He's a chairman who gets involved. He's a chairman who wants to dot the I's and cross the T's. He's the chairman who wants to participate in the discussion technically. And he does his homework, to say the least. Doc, we are privileged to have you as our vice president. And I'm very happy that you are here to take us through the delivering the infrastructure. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, our Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia.
Thank you very much, Senior Minister, for those kind words. Very kind. The Second Lady, my beautiful Samira. Senior Minister, Ministers of State, Members of Parliament, Your Excellencies, members of the Diplomatic Corps, Nime, Name, distinguished invited guests, friends from the media, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. During the Town Hall and Results Fair held in Kumasi in February this year, we discussed our manifesto promises and the extent to which we have delivered on those promises. During that presentation, I did state that in the spirit of transparency and accountability, government would present to the country what we have done specifically in the area of infrastructure. Since then, all of us have had to contend with COVID-19, all its hardships, changes in our everyday lives, in order to save lives, and all its protocols. Today has provided us the opportunity to come back to you and to make this presentation in a largely virtual setting. I must say that this presentation is a very collaborative effort, coordinated by the Minister for Monitoring and Evaluation. And I would like to give thanks especially to the President, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, who has asked that this work be done and pushed for us to get it done. I'd like to thank all the ministers who worked so hard to pull all the data together, the MMDCEs, and also to my technical team for their very, very hard work. Ladies and gentlemen, we've just watched a short documentary which has tried to capture a broad outline of what this MPP government has done in the last 3.5 years or so under the leadership of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. It is clear from this video that what we have done in the area of infrastructure, as I am about to show, is massive for the first term of a government in the Fourth Republic. Before the 2016 election, the MPP conducted a comprehensive survey on the development of Ghana. The survey revealed profound challenges. Notable amongst them was the large infrastructure deficit, the constant constraint on our development, their uneven distribution across the country, and the widespread disparity in the urban and rural development. This study informed our 2016 manifesto in the area of infrastructure. In line with the government's agenda to ensure inclusive and accelerated development, our focus has been to provide infrastructure for all. That has been the focus, infrastructure for all. And our approach to infrastructure development in Ghana has been twofold. First, to provide the infrastructure for the infrastructure needs of the poor and deprived communities at the micro level, like water, toilets, clinics, electricity, markets, and so on. And many governments have ignored this historically. Second, our approach is to provide for the broader infrastructure needs of the economy at the macro level to drive economic growth. Infrastructure for all includes all amenities that people need in order to unleash the potentials for their growth in their communities, constituencies, and districts, and ultimately improve the conditions of everyday living. It also includes facilities and systems to support industrial and other economic activities. Given that we are in the age of the fourth industrial revolution, it is inevitable that we get on the transitioning of the Ghanaian economy from low to high productivity level driven by digitization. To enable us to do this, we have put in place the required soft infrastructure, the digital infrastructure, which in many respects may be even more important than the physical infrastructure that we are used to. This has not received much attention in our development process until recently. But today you have seen libation being poured digitally. And I think it tells you of things to come. So to accomplish our objective of delivering infrastructure for all, we have used some of the following vehicles, amongst others. Of course, the ministries, departments, and agencies, the district and municipal assemblies, the development authorities under the Ministry of Special Development Initiatives. This is the ministry that is administering the 1 Million One Constituency Initiative, Zongo Development Fund under the Ministry for Inner City and Zongo Development. Our goal, ladies and gentlemen, this evening is to share with you what we have done within this broader understanding of infrastructure, the impact on households in the beneficiary communities, districts, regions, and what they mean in the broader context of our national development. The presentation is going to be driven by data on infrastructure collected from ministries, departments, agencies, metropolitan, municipal, and district assemblies, and so to enable all Ghanaians, researchers, CSOs, students, to enable all Ghanaians have access to and interrogate the data that we have put together. We are putting all this data on a website. All that we are talking about, we are going to put it on a website known as the www.deliverytracker.gov.gh. That's the website address. This is a novelty. The infrastructure data, when you get to this website, can be obtained either by sector. So if you want infrastructure data, what we are doing in education, health, agriculture, you can find that, you can get that by that. Or if you want to go by region, I want to know what is happening in Oti, I want to know what is happening in Northeast, or Volta, or Ashanti. You can search by that as well. Or you can go by district. I want to know what is happening in my district. So if I go to Nandom, I can tell what is happening. All right? I go to Sekendi, Takrady, I can tell from this website what government is doing. As the name implies, Delivery Tracker is a portal where you can track the status of delivery of government promises and also infrastructure projects. It will enhance transparency and accountability in governance. It will also enable government to monitor all infrastructure projects to ensure that uncompleted projects are prioritized in the process of capital budgeting. The portal is a living portal, so it is going to be regularly updated. As far as we know, Ghana is the only country in Africa that has implemented this publicly accessible delivery tracker for its infrastructure projects. No other country has done so. I would like to note that we have not applied standardized units for counting the projects. For example, you may have one project that constructs 120 units of apartments. That will be one project. There will be another project that is constructing 25 units of apartments. That is also one project. Right? We have not tried to standardize those units. They will be counted as two projects. But what we want people to focus on is the particular projects and their details so that we can monitor how these projects are being delivered. It's not just the count alone. The process of adding pictures and digital addresses to all these projects is ongoing. I will demonstrate the use of this portal later on in this talk. That said, kindly let me present to you a summary of the various key infrastructure programs that we have implemented across every region of Ghana. And of course, given the constraints of time, I'll focus on a few sectors: roads, agriculture, industry, sports, sea defense, the airports, fish landing sites, security, and so on. So these projects, all these projects that I'm going to talk about, unless of course I say so explicitly, are in the database, on the delivery tracker database. So let's look at the summary of the national infrastructure that we have delivered. And it's this, you can see the amount of work that is going on. Since 2017, we have initiated 17,334 infrastructure projects in this country. Of these, we have completed 8,746, and there's 8,588 ongoing. And you see them allocated from agriculture, education, infrastructure, energy, health infrastructure, housing, industrial infrastructure, market infrastructure, railway infrastructure, roads, safety and security, water and sanitation, youth and development. Over the last 3.5 years, we've implemented these programs across all of these sectors. And all of these 17,334 projects are individually captured in the database. So you can see each of them when you look at this. This is consistent with our strategic orientation to ensure the development of a broad-based, wide-scale infrastructure taking place in every district across the country, instead of a few big infrastructure projects in a few cities. So let me now turn to the sectoral discussions. So we look at road infrastructure. Improvement of the road infrastructure has been a major priority for this government. On the assumption of office, we were met with protests across the country about the poor state of the road network. I'm sure all of you are aware of all those protests people had across the country. We have implemented several initiatives to improve the road network, in the country and to enhance economic activities of citizens to improve access to and living conditions of our people. And this year, the President has dubbed it the Year of Roads. In fact, if you look at the road projects, the road sector, we are implementing 1,927 road projects. We've completed 1,307 and 620 are ongoing. If you look at bridges, you see that the Bailey steel and concrete bridges, we have 79 that we are constructing. We have completed 46 bridges, and you saw the ones in Garu and so on being shown in the video. We are also ongoing, 33 bridges are ongoing. 44 cocoa roads are ongoing, 216 feeder roads, completed 138. Footbridges, 135 are being constructed. We've completed 117 of footbridges. So there's been a lot of road construction taking place across the country. In the urban areas, we've got 589 kilometers of asphaltic overlay and rehabilitating 143 kilometers, reconstructing 97 kilometers. We are also constructing 4 state-of-the-art interchanges. We have the Tema interchange, where the loan, the sword cutting, and the completion were executed by this government. We have the Tamale interchange under the Sino-Hydro program. This is the first ever interchange in the 5 northern regions of Ghana, and it's at 44% completion. Then we have the Pokwasi interchange. This is a 4-tier interchange in West Africa. It's the first 4-tier interchange in West Africa. The first. That's the Pokwasi interchange. The loan agreement for this project was signed in November 2016 for a 3-tier interchange. When we came into office, we looked at it from a value for money perspective, renegotiated it for a 4-tier interchange for the same amount of money. For the same amount of money. We have the Obechebi-Lamte interchange, which is 55% complete. And I just cut the sword for the construction of the Nungwa interchange, which is yet to really start. But this is the highest number of interchanges, that is 5, that are being constructed in the first term of any government since independence. This is the highest number. But we are not finished. A 6th interchange, the PTC interchange in Takoradi, which would be the first interchange in the Western region, we will cut the sword next month for the start of that work under the Sino-Hydro project. Ladies and gentlemen, it is important to note that the cost of the Tamale, Pokwasi, and Obechebi-Lamte interchanges is $289 million. 4 interchanges. Together, $289 million. While the cost of the Kwame Nkrumah interchange was contracted at $260 million. So you have 4 major interchanges: Tema, Pokwasi, Tamale, and Obechebi-Lamte for $289 million, and 1 Kwame Nkrumah circle at $260 million. I'll just leave that for you to ponder. Ladies and gentlemen, we are constructing 17 steel concrete footbridges. As I've said, 46 of them have been completed. And we are selecting for every region 3 critical roads, and we are constructing them at the moment as we speak. And they are at various stages of completion, including the famous Eastern Corridor Road, for example, the Jasikan to Dodo Pepesu Road, it's ongoing under the Sino-Hydro facility. Bolga-Boku Road is about 80% complete, and the Laura-Hamile Road has been completed. So there's road construction going on in every part of this country. In fact, under the previous government, for example, after 8 years in office, they couldn't complete one major road in either Upper West, Upper East, or Western North today regions. One major road, right? Before the end of this year, by the grace of God, Upper West, you will have already got the Laura to Hamile Road. We will complete the Bolga to Boku Road for Upper East, and what we would have done in 4 years would have been more than what they would have done in 8 years in those regions. One of the major constraints, ladies and gentlemen, to our agricultural productivity is inadequate infrastructure in the areas of irrigation facilities, warehouses, storage facilities, and so on. To support the Planting for Food and Jobs program, government has put in place significant infrastructure over the last 3.5 years. The dams that have been constructed, irrigation projects, warehouses. And the government has embarked, as you saw in the video, on the construction of at least 80 warehouses under the One District, One Warehouse program. There are another 20 that the Ministry of Agriculture is building to make them 100 warehouses. And these are 1,000 metric ton warehouses throughout the country. And these warehouses are equipped with dryers, laboratories, and solar power, which are directly under the One District, One Warehouse initiative. When completed, the program will provide about 100,000 metric tons of storage capacity across the country. And communities like Ejura, Atebubu, Tamale, Sandema, Bokopo Siga, Yendi, Chuchupraso, Sechibakwai, Esenam Joaboso, and so on. There are 100 places that are going to benefit from these, and that is a very significant infrastructure development for us, because storage was a major problem. Government has also established 3 greenhouse training centers with commercial components, such as a 5-hectare piece of land at Bawumia, Akumadan, and Bojoase. At the end of 2019, the 3 centers had together trained 296 graduates in greenhouse vegetable production. In addition, a total of 180 graduates have been targeted for training in 2020. So we've had 100 greenhouses constructed, and you saw from the video that they're going to change a lot in the agricultural sector. So the MPP government is implementing a holistic plan to provide farmers and households access to water for all year-round farming. Under the plan, we have 3 components. We have the One Village, One Dam, or the Small F Dam program. And yes, as you saw from the video, the small F dams, the small dams, are nowhere near Akosombo Dam in size and reach. But they are the practical response to the needs of the people and their realities on the ground. The documentary that was shown earlier shows the impact of these small F dams and the appreciation of the beneficiaries in all constituencies in the 5 northern regions where they have been completed, including, I must add, the district of Bole, where they are very happy about them. We have awarded 560 of these contracts for these small F dams. To date, we have constructed 435 dams, 372 have been completed, and 63 are ongoing. And each dam is expected to provide water for up to 5 hectares of land. And completion of this project will deliver the largest stock of small F dams ever constructed in this country. The largest stock. And each small F dam contains 30,000 cubic meters of water when full, and this is enough to survive a greater part of the average dry season in any year. When you hear some of our opponents saying that these dams cannot be used for irrigation, you wonder what they mean. Across the world and many regions in Ghana, farmers do irrigation using different systems. For example, the people of Angloga Keta area have produced shallots in the dry season using tube wells as their source of water for irrigation. Farmers in Bono East region and in all the northern regions have always produced vegetables in the dry season using water from small dugouts they create in riverbeds to extract water. Again, a lot of people today are using pumping water from boreholes into plastic storage tanks for use on irrigation in the dry season. The amount of water, the amount of irrigable land the One Village, One Dam policy provides is over 12,000 hectares, which is almost equal to the total public irrigable land currently available in Ghana. This major increase in irrigable land. Ladies and gentlemen, President Akufo-Addo has further demonstrated his commitment to addressing the irrigation deficit in the country by working so hard to commence work on the Pualugu Multi-Purpose Dam, an irrigation project, which has the capacity to increase the size of Ghana's irrigable land by about 24,000 hectares from the current 12,980 hectares we've had since independence. Upon the completion of the Pualugu Dam, it will be the single largest public investment in irrigation since independence, and also the single largest infrastructure investment in the northern regions of Ghana since independence. So in addition to this, a total of 7,141 hectares of land are being developed for various irrigation systems. These include the Tammany Phase 1 and 2, Improvement Phase 1 and 2, rehabilitation and expansion of existing schemes at Tono, Pong irrigation schemes, Pong Left Bank irrigation scheme. So we have a holistic approach to irrigation. You provide the small irrigation dams, you provide the medium ones like Tono and Pong and so on, and the large ones like the Pualugu Multi-Purpose Dam. And that all these together will be transformational as far as agriculture is concerned in Ghana. Now we move to healthcare. Our investment in health infrastructure is trying to respond to several challenges. How to make it easy for every community to access healthcare without having to travel miles. How to provide state-of-the-art hospitals in every district in this country. How to ensure efficient delivery of emergency services across the country, and how to leverage technology to digitally transform healthcare delivery in Ghana. If you look at the data, since coming into office, the MPP government has embarked on numerous infrastructure development in the health sector. We've awarded contracts for the construction of 429 CHIPS compounds in rural communities. 243 of the CHIPS compounds have been completed and commissioned and are in use, and 186 are ongoing. We are constructing 55 maternity blocks and wards are being constructed at different health facilities across the country. 36 have been completed and 19 are at various stages of completion. Some of the completed projects are in communities including Eduman in Afija Kwabre, Frimpong Manso in Etiwa District, Boko Central, Aveyime, the North Thong District, Danladi in the Nkwanta North, and many more. Ladies and gentlemen, in collaboration with the private sector, we have delivered the first ever infectious disease center in Ghana. And this was constructed within 100 days and has since been commissioned for use. To improve delivery of essential services at deprived and remote communities across Ghana, in collaboration with Zipline, We have constructed 4 drone centers at Omeneko in the eastern region, Vopsi in the north-east region, Mampong in Ashanti, and Sefiwiosi in the western region. At the end of June 2020, 79,800 medical products have been delivered to 945 health facilities by drones. And all these deliveries, when a drone is called in, it means there is a critical matter at stake. A life is about to be lost, and we need the blood urgently, we need the snake venom serum urgently, or we need the drip urgently. When you call in, so all these 79,800 products, you can really think of it as lives that are being saved. And that is the impact of this drone project. And in addition, it has delivered over 2,500 COVID-19 samples to testing centers in Accra and Kumasi. As you know, as part of our health infrastructure, we have equipped the National Ambulance Service. At the time the MPP came into government, the National Ambulance Service had 55 semi-functional ambulances in the country. Semi-functional, I'm being a little generous. And these 55 semi-functional ambulances were serving over 30 million people, which translates into a ratio of 1 ambulance for 550,000 people. An attempt by the previous government to procure 70 ambulances resulted in the shipment of 30 Sprinter buses without equipment into the country. Now, not surprised to get to hospitals on commitment to reach the Zoom that we have shown you in the data. In addition to that, we have also completed several health projects that we inherited from the previous government. Out of 30 infrastructure projects that we inherited from the previous government in the health sector, we have completed 16 of them, including 10 polyclinics, 2 district hospitals. There's also ongoing construction of another 9 district hospitals. So if you look at what we have completed, the polyclinic at BCRC, at Gomoa, Daurompong, Ekumfi, Nuakwa, Birua, the polyclinic at Esi Sunkwa, Bimpong Eja, and then Gomoa as well, Jamera, Mankron, Akomfodi, and all of these have been completed. We completed the ongoing upgrading of the Tamale Teaching Hospital. We completed the ongoing construction of the offices of the Ministry for Health and Regulatory Bodies. We completed the Ga East Municipal Hospital. When we came, it wasn't quite completed. We completed it, and so on. So we have the data to show very clearly, and therefore it cannot be the case that we abandon projects that we inherited. It's in our interest to complete them. So we've completed 16 out of 30, and we are continuing and going to complete the rest. Ladies and gentlemen, I now turn to water and sanitation. The government's Water for All agenda, meant to accelerate the provision of adequate, safe, and affordable water in rural and urban communities. That's what it's meant to do. It is estimated that the current interventions that we are making will bring water to the doorsteps of an additional 5 million people and put us in pole position to meeting our SDG target for water by 2030. And water-related and sanitation projects that we have undertaken include boreholes, mechanized water systems, and solar-powered small water systems, small town water systems, water extension projects, and toilet facilities. If you look at the data, you will see that we have implemented 5,505 projects, infrastructure projects in water and sanitation. Out of this, we've completed 1,878, and we have ongoing 3,627. Now, some of the specifics in terms of what we have done may be enlightening. If you look at the Greater Accra Metropolitan Water and Sanitation Project, under this project, 282 kilometers length of distribution and service pipelines have been laid, and this project has improved access to potable water to over 420,000 people, equivalent to 85,000 households in the country. Beneficiary communities for this particular project are from Teshi, Nungua, Glefe, Mamponse, Choko, and so on. Many, many communities have benefited from the Greater Accra Water and Metropolitan Water and Sanitation Project. You have the Upper East Water Supply Project, which is which is ongoing, 59% complete, which is serving about 180,000 people. And beneficiary communities include Bolgatanga, Navrongo, Bongo, Zoarungu, Gia, Paga, and its environments. And this is very, very important. You have the Sustainable Rural Water Supply Project. And under this Sustainable Rural Water Supply Project, 23 small town water systems and 280 boreholes are under construction in 11 regions in the country. And we are constructing these in Bronsanko, Asiri, Jankufa, Prang, and Dotuba in the Bono East, Bono and Ahafo regions, Walewale, Gambaga, Nalergu, Gushegu, Saboba, Chereponi, Yape within the northern, northeast, and Savannah regions, Asempanaye, Osei-Kojokrom water systems in the western and western north regions, and we are rehabilitating the Lambusie, Hamile, and Hapa water systems, 250 boreholes under construction at Dafiama, Busie, Laura, Sisala West, Nandom, and Jirapa districts, all in the Upper West. We're drilling 30 boreholes for the development of fluoride-prone communities in Bongo and in the Upper East region. If you go to the central region, you are seeing community water systems put in place, Esachirman, Do, Abasa, Obonsta, Esiam, Gomoa, Irisi. So many of these communities, in fact, they are being connected to the Ghana Water Company lines. And 184,000 people in 146 communities in the central region are benefiting from this project. And from the interventions we've made in the central region alone, this has increased the water coverage from a region of 63.8% to 70% within the last 3 years. We are also rehabilitating and expanding 151 small town piped water systems across this country. Some of the systems that have been rehabilitated are in Vako, Taviefe, Akachi in the Volta region, Mim in the Bono region, Manson Kwanta, Mansu Afedie, Joabeng, Senieja in the Ashanti region. So we are doing a lot in water. And most of the toilets in the data that we have just seen, in the table, are toilets that have been built under the One Constituency, 1 Million project that the development authorities are doing. But that is not the end of the story. The Ministry of Sanitation and Water Resources is also overseeing the implementation of additional projects under the government's Toilets for All policy. And given that the data was received quite late, we haven't entered all of that data in the database. But it is worth mentioning. We have about 6 projects under the Toilets for All policy. The Greater Accra Metropolitan Water and Sanitation Project, where under this we have built 28,485 household toilets. Then you have the Sustainable Rural Water and Sanitation Project, where 12,972 toilets have been built. Then there's ongoing construction of under the Greater Accra Sustainable Sanitation and Livelihood Improvement Project, the GASLIP project, 5,000 toilets are being built there. The Government of Ghana Household Toilet Program, we're building 1,900 toilets there, and Rural Sanitation Model and Strategy Program, 40,348 toilets, serving 3,000 communities. And then under the Urban Sanitation Pilot Project, 21,332. So under the Toilets for All program, at least 109,000 household toilets have been constructed, benefiting 856,000 people. This is quite remarkable. Quite remarkable. So if you look at this, the population, the data shows that the population with access to toilet facilities has increased from 14% in 2017 to 21% by 2019. And because of all of this investment that has been made in the toilet infrastructure, 5,498 communities have been declared open defecation free. 5,498. This is very remarkable. And yesterday, the Minister for Sanitation and Water Resources drew my attention because of the investment in water and in sanitation in all of these stories. Says, have you heard that we've had cholera in the last 3.5 years? No, we haven't had cholera. Thank you, we will not have cholera because of improvements in water and sanitation. Now, to spur local economic growth, ladies and gentlemen, we've initiated the construction of 470 market-related infrastructure, including market complexes and rural markets, which come with storage facilities, mechanized boreholes, and other ancillary facilities. Abattoirs, market sheds, and lockable market stalls are also being provided. So far, 276 of these market infrastructure have been completed, while 194 are at different stages of completion. And these come with storage facilities, as I have said. And some of the beneficiary communities of the market infrastructure are in Salayele, in the Salaga North constituency, Asumurai, in the Asonafo North constituency, Drobo, in German South constituency, and many, many others. In addition, construction has started on the first phase works of the redevelopment of the Mankesim Market Complex and the Dome Market. And both projects are expected to be completed in 2021. Now I come to industry. Ladies and gentlemen, under the One District, One Factory program, 183 companies are currently benefiting from the One District, One Factory initiative, out of which 61 are existing companies. The 1D1F doesn't only deal with new companies. If you are an existing company and you need a capital injection to expand, you can benefit from the incentives of the 1D1F. So don't say that, oh, I know this company is already been in existence, so it cannot count. No, if it has come for support through the 1D1F, it will be counted. So out of the 183 companies, 61 are existing companies, while 122 are new companies. To date, 48 of the existing company projects have been completed and are operational. Of the 122 new companies, 28 are completed, whilst 31 are at various stages of completion. In addition, 58 special youth-enabled 1D1F projects have common user processing factories with financing from the African Development Bank, and these are under construction. Commercial product, the 1D1F program. The German car manufacturer Volkswagen has opened a car assembly plant in Ghana as we speak, and they've started producing cars. So the process of industrialization and the framework that we've adopted is yielding a lot of fruit. And all of this infrastructure that you are seeing, the industrial infrastructure, as a result of the government incentives that are being given. Housing, ladies and gentlemen, in the area of housing, the focus has been on the provision of housing for public and civil servants, such as teachers and nurses, and the security services, and also public housing projects under the State Housing Corporation. If we count the housing projects that government is undertaking, we have a total of 1,229 housing projects that have been undertaken, with 232 completed and 997 ongoing. The State Housing Corporation, which was struggling just a few years ago, has been dramatically transformed and building homes for Ghanaians across the country. What is remarkable is that it has used internally across many projects going 61 Bron housing units, which is 20% complete. Greater Accra, there are about 4 major projects, 32 housing units, 24 housing units, 12 housing units, 16 housing units, and they are between 20, 40, 80%, and 95% complete. So we are doing a lot in the area of housing, even though we know there's still a lot more to do. But the data is quite solid in this area. We will continue to move. Then I move to sports. A total, ladies and gentlemen, of 68 sports infrastructure projects have been undertaken since 2017, and 12 have been completed and 56 are ongoing. One of the key projects that we are doing in the housing area is the construction of 10 5,000-seater youth and sports centers of excellence in 10 regions of the country. And these are at various stages of completion. In fact, many are near completion. Kaneshi in Greater Accra, Ho in the Volta region, Koforidua in Eastern, Axim in the Western region, Yenahin in Ashanti, Dunkwafin in Central, Doma in Bono, Navrongo in Upper East, Yendi in Northern, and Wa in Upper West. The Accra Sports Stadium, which has not been renovated in a decade, has now been renovated. Renovation works at the Esupong and the Kumasi Sports Stadia have also commenced, and work has resumed on the construction of the University of Ghana Sports Stadium, a project that was started by the NPP government in 2004 and then abandoned by the previous government. We have also completed, or we are continuing the construction of at least 29 astroturfs in several communities across the country, including Medina, Kebi, Dompim, Pepesa, Intakwa, and Suaim, Menchia, Odan, Walewale, Fadama. They are all getting astroturfs, and more will be coming. As you saw, the area of sea defense, we've commenced sea defense projects in Axim, Amanful, Kuma, Komenda, Cape Coast, Elmina, and Anumabo. These are ongoing. They've started. But we also completed a number of sea defense programs that we inherited. Again, this is to say that we are not abandoning projects that we've inherited, right? So, Abuazi, Ajua, Blekosu, New Takradi, Nkontompo. So that's a rather interesting name. So if anybody tells you we have abandoned, it must be in Kontumpo. So, ladies and gentlemen, ports and fish landing sites, where the Takoradi Port Expansion Project is progressing steadily. A multi-purpose container terminal commenced in 2019, and a dry bulk jetty is almost complete. The construction of the Jamestown Harbor has also started. And we are also constructing 10 fish landing sites: Axim, Dix Cove, Senyabreku, Gomoafete, Mori, Mumford, Teshi, Winneba, Elmina, and Kita. And these are all ongoing. Airports, we have, as I said, the construction of the Kumasi Phase 2 and 3 international airports is 90% complete. We are rehabilitating the Sunyani Airport, and the construction of the Phase 3 of the Tamale Airport is 30% complete. Now we go to railways, and this is
the baby of my good friend Joe Gatti. Major transformation is taking place in the railway sector. The whole sector has been rejuvenated. We have major projects which are ongoing and forthcoming, but we are focusing on the ones which we have done. We've completed the rehabilitation of the Accra-Tema railway line, which is 30 kilometers. The Chimota in Sawam, another 33 kilometers, and the Kojokrom-Takwa, which is a 56 kilometer. And these are narrow gauge lines, and we have done that. We've begun the construction of a new standard gauge western line, which is Takoradi to Kumasi. Now, the standard gauge, as the Minister for Railways tells us, is New Testament. That what we've been doing since the colonial times is Old Testament. Now we are in the New Testament, and we are beginning a new standard gauge construction on the western line. The Kojokrom to Mansu section is 22 kilometers, and which is ongoing. Then we have a railway training school in Sekendi, which is complete, and this is going to be the basis for what we want to build, which is the Railway University in Sekendi. The Tema Mpakadan railway line is 97 kilometers, is ongoing, and approximately 56 kilometers of the track lane has been completed. So we are really on course in the railway sector, and so much is happening. In the area of security, we've undertaken 180 projects, completed 103, and 77 are ongoing. Fire service posts, 22 undertaken, 17 completed, 5 ongoing, and then the 28 municipal district and divisional command buildings for the police and fire service, we've completed 20 of them, 8 are ongoing. Police posts and security posts, 35 have been undertaken, 22 have been completed, 13 ongoing. 73 police stations are being constructed. We've completed 29 and 44 are ongoing. Staff accommodation for security services, we have 21 projects and 14 have been completed and 7 are ongoing. In addition, a major project for the defense of our oil resources, which is the forward operating naval base, is under construction in Ezelibo in the western region. So in addition to this, we've provided 740 vehicles and 3 helicopters to the Ghana Police Service since 2017. 190 vehicles to the Ghana Immigration Service and 138 operational vehicles to the Ghana Armed Forces. So this is major. You look at the infrastructure we are providing the security services is clearly major. Our next focus is going to be on prisons and fire to really retool those services as we go forward. In the energy sector, we have been saddled with an excess capacity as a result of power purchase agreements that are costing the government about $1 billion a year for electricity that we have not consumed. $1 billion that we pay free to somebody for electricity we don't need, that we haven't consumed. Can you think of what you can do with $1 billion every year? Huh? Joe, if I gave you $1 billion for your sector every year, that would be serious transformation. You reach Burkina very quickly. You reach Burkina very quickly. But just think about it, $1 billion a year, because someone has signed agreements saying that even if we don't use the power, we'll have to pay for it. And this is what we have been saddled with. And a lot of this money could have been used for other infrastructure. So our focus has been on trying to get something in the area of renewable energy and extending electricity to rural communities and also improving the transmission and distribution. In the area of electricity extension, we have extended electricity to a total, we are trying to extend electricity to a total of 3,844 communities. We have extended to 2,824, that is completed, and ongoing is 1,020. We've also undertaken a major infrastructure development in the area of the West African gas pipeline, where we've constructed the reverse flow for the West African gas pipeline that enables essentially our gas assets in the west of the country to be used by our plants which are in the east of the country, so on. So this is a major reverse flow that we have done. We are also implementing the following. We've completed 19 substations, and 9 substations are going on, and 2 bulk supply points are also ongoing. And you know, that is quite major. The Bokwasi bulk supply point is 75% complete. Kaswa bulk supply point is 35% complete. And the substation at Kanda is 31% complete. Same with that at Lagos. In addition to this, the following transmission system improvement projects that were inherited from the previous government were also completed to improve operational reliability. The 161 to 33 kV Accra Central Gas Insulated Substation Project, the 161 33 kV Afienya Substation Project, the 330 kV Prestia Kumasi Power Enhancement Project, the 330 kV Kumasi Bolgatanga Transmission Project, the 330 kV Abuazi Prestia Transmission Project. In addition, the 225 kV Bolgatanga Ouagadougou Interconnection Project, which is a component of the West African Power Pool Interzonal Transmission Hub Project, was completed, and it's currently facilitating the export of power from Ghana to Burkina Faso. So we have done quite a bit in doing our projects as well as completing what we inherited. I now turn to education. The infrastructure investment in the education sector, ladies and gentlemen, is massive. We have undertaken a total, or we are undertaking a total of 2,699 projects in the education sector since we came into office. Of these projects, 1,253 have been completed and 1,446 are ongoing. In the area of senior high school projects, for example, we have completed 448 of these projects. And I must add that if you look at the E-blocks that a lot of noise is being made about, it's very important to note that by 2016, by the end of 2016, the previous government had constructed 29 E-blocks. I think they started with a goal of 200, right? By the end of 2016, they had constructed 29 E-blocks. So we came in, since being in office between 2017 and 2019, we've completed 27 E-blocks. Right? So there's no sense that we are coming in and abandoning projects left, right, and center. We inherited Somanya University project, of course, at a very low stage, but it has now been completed, again, to make that point. Ladies and gentlemen, I now move on to the regional and distribution and district distribution of our infrastructure. Historically, the provision of infrastructure has been concentrated in the big cities to the exclusion of the deprived and rural communities who lack basic infrastructure. With our core policy to leave no district or constituency behind, we have steadily ensured that every constituency or district benefits from some infrastructure projects. To ensure equitable and inclusive growth, the provision of infrastructure, amenities or facilities should not be dictated narrowly by our politics. Every community, district, and region deserves expanded opportunities for growth and improvements in their standard of living. It should not be for government or politicians to decide on the sharing of infrastructure amenities on the basis of tribal, ideological, and political preferences. So to accomplish this infrastructure for all strategy, we have implemented several policy initiatives. These include the One Constituency, $1 million. So it doesn't matter which constituency and which region it is, you will get that allocation. One village, one dam. One constituency, one ambulance. One district, one factory. One district, one warehouse. And the Zongo Development Fund. So these are all vehicles that we have put in place to ensure equitable distribution of infrastructure. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me now demonstrate how our delivery tracker portal works. So, and I'll provide you examples of infrastructure across the country from a few regions and districts. So, when you get into the portal, this is the infrastructure portal. It will tell you we have 17,334 projects. We've completed 8,746, ongoing 8,588. Now you may want to search and find out what it is that we have done in the various regions. So you can say Greater Accra, what infrastructure has been provided in Greater Accra. So you go in and then you put Greater Accra and then it will tell you. Greater Accra, we have 1,186 projects, 699 completed and 487 are ongoing, right? So if you look at Greater Accra, you could say, okay, let me go to Lejokuku and let me see what is in Lejokuku, right? I want to go and see in the district what is in Lejokuku. So they can go to Lejokuku. 42 projects in total, 17 completed, 25 ongoing. Let me see the project. So you will see all these projects that are taking place in Lejokuku. So you can scroll down and we will know what is ongoing construction of all these projects in Lejokuku. So this is Lejokuku in Greater Accra. Now I can go to Central Region. For example, let's take Central Region. Go to Central Region and let's see what projects are in Central Region. Central Region, 1,100. So let's see the projects. Scroll down. So you will know. You will see all these 1,000 projects and their status, right? So you will see it all. You will see it all. Now, okay, let's go to, I know, let's go to, go to Gomoa East. Go to Gomoa East, let's see what they have. We have in the Gomoa East in Central Region, right? You apply 37 projects in Gomoa East, and so on. I don't know. Do we have any pictures for Gomoa East? Let's see what is good. Then you'll see what is happening. So you see the projects that are going. Some are not yet completed. And all of that. So you'll get a good sense of what it is. So you get a sense of how the thing works. Let's go to Savannah region. Savannah region. You see, so you can, all regions, all districts in the country. So you go to Savannah, we have what, 65 projects taking place, 606 completed, 159. So let me see the projects. So you can go through across all and see all of them. Okay? Fine. Go to Bole. Bole district. 66 projects, 31 completed, 31 ongoing. Let's see the projects. Let's see the projects. So, quite a lot of projects. We are not discriminating. These are the pictures from Bole. You will see them, which is very good. Okay? All right. So let's go to Western region. Western, let's apply for Western. So 671 projects, 124 completed, 547 ongoing. Now, I want to go to Sekondi. My good friend Joe Gata is here. He would like to see what is going on. Sekondi Takrady, sorry. Okay. Sekondi Takrady, let's see what we have. 231 projects, 83 complete. Let's see the projects. You have a lot of projects. Keep going down. Wow. I think he will be retained as the Member of Parliament for Sekondi. Do you have pictures for Sekondi? There you are. They are quite big projects. They are quite big projects. Okay. Okay, let me see Volta region. And some of these projects, because of the one constituency, 1 million. If you have more constituencies, you have more projects, and so on. So you have 650 projects, 361 completed, 289. Let's see the projects. So you go through and be able to. There's a demand for K2 South. Let us see. K2 South. Okay, let's see. 23 projects, 7 completed, 16 ongoing. Let's see the projects. Okay, so this is what is going on. Are there any pictures? That's right. So, for every district that you have in the country, once you go to deliverytracker.gov.gh, you put in your district, you know what is going on. And this will allow us to keep government, what is happening to this project, and then we can monitor what is happening across. So this is very, very key in terms of where we are going. I would also want to mention that infrastructure today in this world of digitization is no longer just brick and mortar, right? We are talking about soft infrastructure, and we are talking about digital infrastructure. This is the New Testament, as Joe would say. And the world is changing, and digitization has come, and we are for the last 3.5 years, we have been embarking on a major process of digitizing this country and putting in place the critical soft digital infrastructure, which is going to transform this country. So we are doing the national ID card. So far, about 14 million cards people have been enrolled. We expect it to reach 16 million in the not too distant future. It's going to be key. The digital property addressing system has been put in place. The mobile money interoperability, the first of its kind in Africa, has been put in place, which has made Ghana the fastest growing mobile market in Africa. It's in place, and it has given people access to banking services. The universal QR code has been put in place, and it will be launched in terms of rolled out for general use very soon, where these market sellers don't need a point of sale device to be able to receive money. They will just receive it on their mobile phone and go. But given the payment system infrastructure that has been put in place over the last 3.5 years, Ghana today has one of the most advanced payment system architectures in the world, not just Africa, but the world. We may not recognize it, but that is in fact the case. And the infrastructure has enabled us to achieve financial inclusion, as well as placed us in the position to go cashless and to formalize this economy very, very quickly. Ladies and gentlemen, in conclusion, the investment in infrastructure by the MPP government over the last 3.5 years has been massive. These projects, as I said, can be found on the website, the Delivery Tracker website, and the portal also contains a picture gallery of various projects. With the introduction of the Delivery Tracker website, we have introduced a new dimension of transparency and accountability in the governance of this country. Ladies and gentlemen, notwithstanding the impact of COVID-19 on the completion times of some projects, the data indicates that in the Fourth Republic, no government has achieved as much in its first term of office in terms of infrastructure projects it initiated in that first term as the government of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. No government. Our opponents are welcome to show us what they accomplished by way of infrastructure initiated in their first term of office. They are welcome. They should bring the data, and we will interrogate it. This is because virtually all the key projects that they point to were completed in their second term. We are, however, happy to compare our 3.5-year record with their 8-year record in the area of infrastructure. In many communities across this country, the data will show that the infrastructure we have provided in many districts over the last 3.5 years surpasses what they provided in 8 years to those districts. But what is most important to note and most interesting to note is that we have done all this while actually spending less on infrastructure as a percentage of our GDP. We have done more by spending less. And that means what? We have more value for money. That is what it is. Also, contrary to the propaganda, the evidence is that we have also completed and we are working to complete many projects that our government inherited. We have also put in place a solid base of digital infrastructure to propel the digital economy of Ghana. And ladies and gentlemen, I also like to note that we are not just building infrastructure. As for building infrastructure, anybody can build infrastructure. We are not just building infrastructure, we are building a nation. We are building a nation. We are building all this infrastructure while staying committed to our social contract of providing free senior high school education, creating jobs, transforming agriculture, industrializing the economy, sustaining the National Health Insurance Scheme, digitizing the economy, ensuring public safety of Ghanaians, and keeping the lights on. Ladies and gentlemen, the future is bright if we stay the course. That is why we are asking the good people of Ghana to give Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and the MPP 4 more to do more for you. May God bless you, and may God bless our homeland Ghana.
Ladies and gentlemen, 4 more to do more. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Your Excellency, the Vice President of the Republic. The evidence is here and clear. We are not talking about artist impressions. This one is what you call feely. Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Your Excellencies, Honorable Ministers, we are joined virtually by several thousands of Ghanaians who are following this program on all our social media handles, also on television and on radio. We are live on about 13 television stations. We are live on over 70 radio stations across the country. Mr. Director, can you give me a shot of our colleagues who are on Zoom with us? Let us give a big round of applause to our colleagues who are watching from all parts of the country and of the world and are also enjoying this program. Thank you very much. Your Excellencies, may I crave your indulgence at this juncture to maybe allow for some interactions. Ours is a government of accountability and transparency, and the data is available. The invited colleagues, if you do have a question, if you indicate by show of hand, I can recognize you and invite you. We shall also take a few questions from our virtual platforms. In the interest of time, we are minded that our television airtime is coming very quickly to an end. So please, if you show by hand, I'll take a few questions from within the auditorium. I recognize you, sir. Please pass him the mic. Our colleagues, please pass the mic, and let us sanitize the mic after each use. I recognize you, sir. Please just introduce yourself and ask your brief question.
Hello. Good evening. My name is Christopher Agbegan, and I am from the Ghana Federation of Disability Organizations. I first of all want to commend the government for the good work done, amazing work. I want to first of all remind us that in 2006, a moratorium was actually agreed upon that in 10 years, infrastructure in Ghana or public buildings would be made accessible. Your Excellency, accessibility goes beyond disability. If this building is 10 feet tall and there was an elevator and we said that this elevator is assigned only to persons with disabilities, I believe there would be a protest. Why? Because the fact that it is made for persons with disability doesn't mean everybody would want an easy access to any part of the building. How are these infrastructures that have been showcased to us accessible to persons with disabilities? How meaningfully involved have these disability groups, especially the Ghana Federation of Disability Organizations, been involved in the development of these structures in terms of project implementation, evaluation, and monitoring? Thank you.
Thank you very much. I recognize you, Christopher. We hear you. I recognize a young lady. Yes, the infrastructure has been provided. Is it disability friendly? Thank you very much, Christopher. I recognize you. Please ask your question, madam.
Okay. Okay, good evening. Please, my name is Bonsusewa Gifty. I'm the General Secretary for Film Directors Guild Ghana. As the infrastructure was going on, I didn't see anything from our Creative Act side. I don't know whether we have it and they couldn't show it. Yes, thank you.
Thank you very much, Gifty. We hear you loud and clear. We shall now go to our virtual platform. We will take 2 questions from our virtual platform. Which platform is up now? Mr. Director. So Barnabas Borough says, when will the MPP government come and finish the Wa Regional Hospital? Barnabas. Another question from Isaac Treme. What should we expect from the MPP when they are re-elected in December? Operative word is when. Thank you very much, Barnabas. And we shall take 2 from the WhatsApp platform, just 2 from the WhatsApp platform, Mr. Director, shall we?
My name is Ifasa Amuyao, a level 400 student of the University of Ghana. Good evening, Mr. Vice President. Government introduced the double-track system as a way of addressing the infrastructure deficits in our senior high schools, occasioned by the increase in student intake. How far has government gone in reducing the infrastructure gap and eradicating the double-track system completely? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Shall we take another one?
Your Excellency, my name is Derek Tete, and I'm working with the Central Municipal Assembly as a national service personnel. Respectfully, I would want to ask, how different is this government's infrastructural agenda from that of the NDC? Thank you.
Thank you very much. We shall pause for a moment and take some answers. My colleague, the Honorable Deputy Minister for Monitoring and Evaluation, Honorable William Sabi, I shall invite you to speak to the issue on how disability friendly on your monitoring and evaluation rounds. Please speak to the issue of how disability friendly is the infrastructure. Honorable Sabi, please, I invite you to respond.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Most of the SHS infrastructure, for instance, have disability routes to the entrance to the classroom blocks. Well, what will be the challenge is those that are mostly of high buildings like storage, but they've been provisioned in such that most of classroom activities are done at the ground floor, and most of the administration block, the same thing goes like that. In the creative arts industry, for the question asked by my lady, we realize that we also have a special senior high school for the creative arts in the Ashanti region, which has been inaugurated by commissioned by the president. So there's something about creative arts. Thank you very much.
Please come on, you add it. The Honorable Cecilia Dapa is the minister responsible for sanitation and water resources. How user friendly are the facilities that we are providing for our schools and so on? Please pass the Honorable Minister the microphone.
Thank you. Of the 250 institutional toilets that we have provided, we have accessibility for disabled and challenged persons. Even inside the toilets, we also have handles that they hold to make themselves comfortable. That's what we'll add to that. Added to that is the special initiatives toilets that they are also building. These are all user-friendly to disabled and challenged people. Thank you.
Honorable Minister, shall we sanitize the microphones as well? Shall I invite the Vice President of the Republic to take a few of the questions? Thank you very much, Your Excellency.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think I can touch on a few of the questions. On the creative arts, is quite true. I didn't mention specifically that we've completed a theater in Koforidua, and there's another one ongoing in Kumasi, because we are trying to build theaters in the key sectors, and this is. But what is also important, let me inform you that just yesterday, Cabinet approved the Creative Arts Bill. And this is going to Parliament when they come back in October. And under the Creative Arts Bill, we are setting up a Creative Arts Fund, right? So that we are going to empower the creative arts industry. It's going to be a real great growth pole for this country. So that is good. Wa Regional Hospital, it has been commissioned. It was commissioned on the 18th of August last year. So they are working. The double track, significant progress is being made. Many schools are coming off double track as we speak. We wanted to build about almost 800 facilities. So far, we've completed 448 of those facilities in the senior high school. And so many schools by September are coming off double track, but we'll keep going until, I don't think we are far off from actually meeting the infrastructural requirement. But, you know, one of the things about double track is it's a policy that responds to a real need, that we have free SHS and people had to go to school. So we had a double track system, a very innovative system. It's not perfect, but it's very innovative and it's solving major problems. If you say that you are going to abolish double track, you have to tell us exactly what you are going to replace it with. You cannot just say it for votes. You have to say, I'm going to abolish double track and I'm going to replace it with this. But if you abolish it, whose child should stay at home? And whose child should go to school? Right? So that is the question that we have to ask. It is, you know, we are moving very quickly with the construction of a lot of infrastructure in the senior high schools. Again, there was a question about the difference between our government's approach to infrastructure and I think that our infrastructure is more inclusive. We are not really focusing on the big city projects alone. We are doing big infrastructure to drive development across, whether it's industrial infrastructure, educational infrastructure, and so on. We're doing all of that, but we are very, very conscious that the infrastructure must touch every part of this country, must touch every community, and this is what we are trying to do. Our focus is infrastructure for all, water for all, toilets for all, and we're pushing all of that, and I think it's a big difference between us. And we are focusing also on value for money in our infrastructure projects. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana. Indeed, we are delivering more with less. And on that note, I invite the Honorable Minister for Information to wrap up.
Your Excellency, the Vice President, Senior Minister, Ministers of State, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, a little about 2 hours ago, that's just around 6:30, we started this virtual town hall meeting. With COVID protocols, as you know them to be, we would have to be bringing down the curtain at this time. I want to thank His Excellency, the Vice President, first of all, for the time he's had, the industry that has gone into his presentation, and the exhaustive nature with which he has answered the question of infrastructure as put together by the Akufo-Addo administration. I believe we can give him a very big round of applause. We want to say a big thank you to the various ministers of state, the various ministries and technical teams that supported with the data from here in Accra and across to the various districts, data that enabled this presentation to be put together. I want to thank Nime, Name, and invited guests who are here with us this evening. Our colleagues from the media, we thank you. And for the millions who joined us through the power of television, radio, and online platforms, we thank you for participating in this virtual town hall meeting and results fair. We will rise shortly after a prayer and then take the national anthem before we wrap up. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. Indeed, we are going digital with the digital vice president and his digital president. And so we are proceeding to the Upper West region, the office of the regional chief imam, Alhaji Osman Kanini, to offer the closing prayer. Alhaji.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. I am very, very glad to stand on behalf of the Upper West Regional Chief Imam to deliver a short closing prayer to the nation. And Elma Yara Anam Banyal Kang Aha, Upper West Chief Imam of Waborang Ayadwabunga, Kunalaka. Tiyan iya duwabo akutapalo ni jagbuli wala yala tibiya election year ya jama'a na biye tun so handa na muna ka wakati nga ku chenwa para ka yal boron tumbor kar voti president na kar nyo lafiya kan sala njabi bodba yi bojin sala bunyo ni voti onan na voti ka president yi kan yi jan no yi uluse vote tun su handa nan ka palo jin lafiya president ne ma Allah haka ba vote kuti tu vote ne onan na haka aka vote ha onan karata tun la suwana mun kuro o manga ne vote anan lafiya a palo jajin lafiya mun na dikuti tuno manga wacha tun jin cha pa wacha tun su ha jin lafiya a su ha jin lafiya kura palo ne ala ne ja an wulka gana ne bi tor danala mun na gana te ne bi tora. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اللهم اجعل جمعنا هذا جمعا مرحوما وتفرقنا من بعد تفرقا معصوما ولا تجعل فينا ولا معنا مطرودا ولا محروما اللهم ربنا لا تدع لنا في مقامنا هذا ذنبا غفرته ولا هما الا فرجته ولا دين الا قضيته ولا مريضا الا شفيته ولا ميتا الا رحمته ولا ضالا الا هديته ولا فقيرا الا اغنيته ولا حاجة من هوائج دون ولا غير الكدتها يا أرحم الراحمين يا رب العالمين. اللهم ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. اللهم ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. اللهم ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. ودنا جنة الأبرار يا عزيز يا غفار يا رب العالمين. يا رب لك الحمد كما ينبغي لجلال وجهك والعظيم سلطانك. يا رب لك الحمد كما ينبغي لجلال وجهك والعظيم سلطانك. يا رب لك الحمد كما ينبغي لجلال وجهك والعظيم سلطانك. يا رب ختم لنا بالخير والسعادة برمة الدين والقرآن والعلم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. صلوا على النبي الكريم.
We are grateful to Alhaji Osman Kanihi, the Regional Chief Imam of the Upper West region. Indeed, this is our country, the only country we have, and we have to serve it. And that is why we will build 4 interchanges at the cost of $89 million, and somebody will build just one for $260 million. On that note, Mr. Lord White, please perform to us Yenara Yasa Sene. This is our land we must protect and serve.
Yenara ibe biatwa so ningesha so kutu sani yepase mi kuminya ebrebe huti maya da sasimo dom atumshe somanu seriye yo somanu seriye yo eyese na ose Omaku pranetre, somanu seriye yo, somanu seriye yo, eyese na ose, omaku pranetre.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, Honorable Ministers, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Please let us observe the departure of the second gentleman, and then we can follow suit. Please, let's make way. Nime name